The roar in Lisbon turned to stunned silence the night Benfica surrendered a 2-goal lead and fell 3-2 at home to Qarabag, a result so improbable that the club moved instantly, parting ways with Bruno Lage amid furious supporters and urgent boardroom discussions. That sacking has created a managerial vacuum, and almost immediately the biggest name in Portuguese coaching lore reappeared on the horizon, José Mourinho. Reports now place Mourinho at the front of Benfica's shortlist, and the man himself has confirmed interest after being contacted about the vacancy, transforming what felt like panic into a moment that could reshape the club's season and reverberate across Europe. Imagine for a moment the drama, the coach who once strode the sidelines of the Santiago Bernabéu, the place where he famously captured La Liga in 2011-12 and left an indelible mark on Spanish football, potentially returning to Portuguese soil to helm the country's most pressured dressing room. That is a narrative with history baked into it. Mourinho's career has been punctuated by electrifying highs and public exits, from Champions League glory with Porto to league titles in England, Italy and Spain. His more recent chapters, including a short and bumpy spell in Turkey, ended without fanfare. For Benfica, the lure of Mourinho is simple: experience, profile, and a manager who can bend big moments to his will. But the gamble is also obvious. Mourinho's returns rarely come without noise, controversy, and a huge spotlight. The stakes turn from personal drama to continental consequence when you look at the calendar. Benfica's group stage schedule includes a date that reads like a plot line: a Champions League meeting with Real Madrid on January 28, 2026 at the Santiago Bernabéu, a ground Mourinho knows intimately. If he assumes the Benfica job in the coming days, his tactical fingerprints could already be on that tie, and a victory or a controversial defeat there would carry headlines far beyond Lisbon. Suddenly, a managerial appointment is not just about domestic stability. It becomes a story that will be dissected across Europe, a storyline bookmakers, pundits and rival fans will circle in red. Behind the scenes, Benfica president Rui Costa faces a tricky calculus: appoint a charismatic, headline-grabbing figure in Mourinho who can command immediate attention and perhaps galvanize a squad, or choose a steadier hand to rebuild methodically after a humiliating defeat. Fans are split between desperation and skepticism. Can the Special One rescue a dressing room that has just collapsed under pressure, or will history repeat itself with fireworks and an expensive short-term fix? The answer will depend on players' buy-in, transfer flexibility in the January window, and whether Mourinho, whose last few jobs ended prematurely, still has the appetite for a long rebuild. For Real Madrid and the wider Champions League picture, the possibility of Mourinho returning to steer an opponent against them is a narrative lottery ticket. Whether it's tactical chess, old rivalries reignited, or simply the theatre of football's most combustible personality stepping back onto a stage where he once reigned, the implications are immediate. Group tables change, tactical plans shift, and media cycles pivot to Lisbon and Madrid with equal urgency. Even before he signs anything, the rumour itself alters opponents' preparations. What to expect of a Mourinho team in late January? Intense defensive organisation, counter-punching ruthlessness, or perhaps a pragmatic side moulded to the players at hand? So what should supporters and neutrals watch for now? First, the official confirmation lines from Benfica: a signature would transform speculation into action. Second, the January window moves. Will Benfica back a Mourinho era with reinforcements? Third, the immediate results after appointment. Quick points would calm the storm. Continued stumbles would magnify the fallout. And finally, mark the calendar. January 28, 2026 is more than a date. It could be a verdict, a flashpoint where a summer's chaos and a mid-season gamble either pay off spectacularly or implode in public view. Until then, football's soap opera keeps writing itself, and every headline, every rumour matters.